Good morning, Monrovia. Good morning, Habel. Good morning, Field. Good morning, Sport. Good morning, Tuduta. Good morning, Salala. Good morning, Macaque City. Good morning, Totmanburg. Good morning, Bapulu. Good morning, Buchanan. Good morning, La. Good morning, Virginia, Camp David. My river this is 50-50 on a Monday morning on Sky 107.1 FM with this topic. How official and organized was the CPP turnover ceremony when the officials of the Liberty Party and the ANC boycotted? What should the Liberian people expect from the United Party and Joseph Nyumah Boakai's leadership of a fractured and factionalized CPP? What is the agenda for Joseph Boakai of this as chair of the CPP for the next 8? Mo Ali is now the chief scribe of the CPP and chief scribe of Unity Party. By 11 o'clock, our lines will be open as usual. So you call us on 0777 or better stay, call us on 0777-221-223. You'll be live from 50-50 on Sky 107. Of course, my name is Steve Manson. I'm the grandson of my grandfather. And I'm being assisted by Labendi. This kissy name is Labendi. He's my co-host. Just with exit as soon as Philip returns. I don't know whether he wants that or not. We'll be back right after the theme song.
Jackman said he got the money.
Hey man, sorry man, but you get ready last month about you.
Let's see if they get a new pin. Now Jackie will buy my credit data for the week.
Hey man, you worry for nothing. Jack will get a new thing. You'll be surprised with the kind of new gift I come with.
My oh my, they are still here talking plenty.
Yes, get a new SIM card for only 50 cents and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We'll take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
What's up back, homie LIV, man?
T-Brush, that you? Hey, what are you for you, man? I'm surprised because most of you keep quiet when you go to America.
Come on, man. I told you I'll make the difference, girl. By the way, I need to send you some cash, but heard that the banks are closed today in LIV.
You sleeping? That bro comes to another level. You can send it straight to my phone.
Receive money from your family and friends in the U.S. directly into your Orange Money wallet. Yes, you heard me right. Tell your loved ones to download the BNB or Small World money transfer apps or visit their websites to begin transferring. Visit www.orange.com.lr for more information. Free for sender until 30th November.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone. And I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do. Making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the item you took, I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right for me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car. With our sophisticated equipment, we give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car, but we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. We're back on 50/50 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest is Mr. Mo Ali. Mo Ali is the chief scribe of the CPP now. He's also the chief scribe of the United Party. We have asked him to have this discussion to address the topic, how official and organized was the CPP turnover ceremony when, in fact, officials of the Liberty Party and the ANC boycotted. Why should the Liberian people expect from the United Party leadership under Joseph Boakai, who will be chairing, who is not being chaired, a fractured and factionalized CPP? What is the agenda for the next 8 months? Because it's an 8 months rotational leadership, and Joe Boakai is the one who's there. Good morning, my friend and brother, Mo Ali, chief scribe.
Mo Ali enough.
Mo Ali enough?
Yes, sir. So good morning to you and good morning to Matthias Labendi. You know, I always admired this guy name, even when I didn't know him, when he was the other.
I'd always thought he was just some East African, something like that. I live my life in
fact, Boakai Fofana used to call his name, and I used to listen to Boakai calling his name just. But yes, I am okay, and thanks for having me after our very successful program on Friday. Yeah.
So let's look at it. Let's look at it. You call it a successful program. How do we classify this in the psyche of a politician, in the psyche of hungry Liberians urging for change, when two major political parties, especially the party of the lady who turned over to the Joseph Boakai, his not his, or National Executive Committee members were not there, or chairman was not there, the chief scribe of that party was not there, and to make matters worse, ANC wasn't there. So how do we take that to be? It gives us a semblance that things are not well.
So T-Max, it is a wrong thing to say the Liberty Party was not there. I saw members of the executive committee of the Liberty Party. Yes, the chairman was not there. He didn't give any reason. Yes, the Secretary General was not there. He didn't give any reason. I am sure they may have.
The National Executive Committee members were there? No, no one was there.
Of course, I saw Executive Committee members were there.
Did they go as National Executive Committee or the
absolutely,
Party?
Absolutely. Augustine Frederick was there. Jacob Smith was there. Darius Dillon was there. And of course, the head of the CPP, who happens to be the political leader of the Liberty Party, was there. She was turning over. So there's no way we would have the turnover ceremony had the Liberty Party boycotted. The ANC...
In other words, you're saying we wouldn't have had it had the political leader of the Liberty Party. It's not a personalized thing. It's not a person thing.
It is not a personalized
thing. It's a party-to-party thing. And all
so
the parties
only
get involved in that.
The only party we know that boycotted the turnover ceremony It is the ANC. They issue an official statement stating two reasons. One, they said they were left out of the planning processes. Two, they said the Unity Party was profiteering, which is very funny to me, profiteering out of the sales of T-shirts on the back of the CPP. That was the most comical part of the whole release that I read. And so I thought that was a misstep on their part.
Did it matter to you that the ANC wasn't there?
You see, the thing is, the parties can choose to attend programs and they can choose not to attend programs.
It doesn't really matter.
I say they can choose. I would have loved for all the political leaders to be seated out there. Mr. Cummings was not there for the reasons that I just stated that were stated in their press statement. I would have loved for them to have filed in a protest if that was the reason.
Sorry, somebody is playing beneath it. I think, yeah, he's setting it up. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
They would have filed in the protest. We are attending the program, but we are attending under protest that these things did not happen. But let me give you the history of turnover. The first turnover was from Mr. Ure, the ALP, to Mr. Cummings and the ANC.
How did it go then?
To my knowledge, parties were not involved with the organization of that program. It has become like a norm that the party that is turning over, it is their program. So Mr. Ure called me and said, Mo, I want you to organize my program. Even though it was done via Zone, I organized it almost exclusively. Not even the ALP people were part of it. I coordinated directly with Mr. Ure and we organized that program. That was the reason why, in fact, I moderated the program. I was the only official from the party, aside from the political leaders, to make any kind of statement at that program. So Mr. Ure dictated what the program was going to be like. In consultation, with me, he would say, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. No other party was part of it. When the ANC was turning over to the LP, it was an ALP, it was an ANC program. The Unity Party was not part of the organizing committee. It was a transitional thing that was set up by the two parties, the ANC and the LP. The transitional team, which was also the program team, they worked together, set up the program.
Was it the case of the Liberty Party and
yeah, I will come there. The only thing I remember then asking me to do was, Mo, can you draft a short history of the CPP, circulate it for everybody's input, which I did. In this case, it was the Liberty Party's program. And I have been written a communication on September 19, on or before September 19, by the SG of the LP and say, my tenure expires on September 19. I would like for us to have meeting to discuss transitions. And so I responded by saying, why it is true, your tenure may have expired on September 19 or will be expiring on September 19. The truth is that the political leaders will direct the secretariats of both parties to organize the official turnover ceremony. And that was what they did. So Senator Yombi Lawrence, who was the chair of the CPP, asked for a transitional team to be set up. She got in touch with the Unity Party and said, since we are turning over to the UP, recommend few names to be a part of the transitional team. And we recommended names. We had Cornelia, we had Mrs. Helena Knuckles, and two other persons. They worked with the Liberty Party, represented by Frederick Cooper, Jacob Smith, not Frederick Cooper, sorry, I'll keep calling Frederick Cooper name. Augustine Fredericks, Jacob Smith, Daniel Sando, and one or two other persons. So that was the transitional team. I wasn't even part of it. My chairman wasn't part of it.
No, I didn't expect the old man to be part of that. My point is, when you see something like this, because there's a communication to the political leader of the Liberty Party from our own secretariat, sort of more or less reminding us of the importance of the transitional team. That was not giving any serious thought, as if this was a personal thing.
So,
I'm asking because you're taking up the leadership of the
Yeah.
of the CPP. Doesn't that give you any bad feeling that if the turning
T-Max,
over
trust-
team is not let me learn first.
Mhm.
If the turning over team is not as cohesive, as collaborating as it ought to be, you see the problems. You're taking leadership from T-Max, but in my house we are fighting.
Right.
We don't agree with one another. Doesn't that give you any hunch of things might not go well?
So, T-Max, what I have tried to do
Mhm.
since this collaboration is to steer clear of
Internal
internal party issues. If I am called of, or if my opinion is asked, I will render one. I didn't read through that letter. I know it was addressed to the political leader of the Liberty Party from
our own secretariat,
from her Secretary General. So I didn't think it was something that I should get into discussing.
No, I don't want you to get. But what does it tell you? What does it tell you?
It is not a secret. It is a known fact that there are some issues within the Liberty Party. So it tells me that there still exists some issues, and I am very, very hopeful and certain that the Liberty Party, being a metro institution, will handle their problems. They will handle the infight, and they will come up strong. The second reason why the ANC said they were not attending, they said
if they cannot handle the infighting, what? I'm looking.
I am sure.
I'm looking
I
at
am
the
sure
CPP.
they
I'm
have
looking at the CPP as a team.
Yes.
That more or less Liberian peoples are craving for to be united.
Yes.
It doesn't seem to give that impression.
T-Max, we will get there. The Liberty Party, I've read their constitution. They have internal conflict resolution mechanisms, and I am sure they will absorb. They will make use of those conflict resolution mechanisms. I wanted
They never made use of that before, so why make you think they'll make use of that?
No, they are making use of it.
With
My understanding is
constitutional tampering, and they have to be reminded by the National Elections Commission that hey, you have
but
T-Max,
I am not the right person to discuss the internal wrangling within the Liberty Party.
It has become your problem now because you're heading to put us together.
The day they decide to bring it to the fore, to the CPP, to discuss it and help them to resolve it, I will discuss it. For now, I want to respect the independence of the Liberty Party.
If it is not brought to your attention and we go all the way to the election, wouldn't that hinder the formidability of the CPP as we want it
if
to be?
we are making any intervention, it will be with the invitation of the Liberty Party. If they do not invite us and we are making any intervention, that intervention
will be considered as intrusion.
And we can make positive intervention, which we show we are doing, but that has to remain confidential until they can say
we have a problem.
They can say you have the clearance to talk about it. So I wouldn't want to drag into it. I wouldn't want
so it doesn't bother you at all.
T-Max, problem
you are inherent. I feel for you because you're my personal friend. Let me get and the old man who has your party is my old man I've known for over 30 years. I'm telling you, you inheriting an organization that is fractured and factionalizes things.
So it will go a long way in showing how prepared are we if we can strive to reconcile the CPP. It will be that yes, the CPP can reconcile. If the CPP can reconcile itself, if they can put aside their internal conflict, it means that they are prepared for leadership and they can reconcile this country. Sometimes we have to look at the positive side of things, and I like to judge it from there. I don't look at most often the negative in everything. every political institution can have problems. And we are having our fair share of internal wranglings here and there. I am very certain we will be able to overcome those internal wranglings.
Well, let me ask you this question. T Max asked the question, but I think I have to paraphrase it, so we can get what we actually want.
You want to get what you want, or you want to get what the reality is?
Well, yeah, what we need from you so that the public too can
No,
also
I'm
be
not
fed
giving you
from it.
what you need. I'm
Anyway,
giving you the reality.
No problem. Whatever you give us. So there is a communication written to the political leader of the Liberty Party, internal communication from the National Executive Committee of the party, signed by Musa Ability and the National Advisory Committee of her party, informing her that certain things were not done properly. The certain things that the letter mentioned about are certain things that will affect not just the Liberty Party, but the CPP moving forward to the turnover ceremony. They did not comment on the issues happening within the Liberty Party, but they said, if we do not do this thing properly, this turnover ceremony, some of us will not attend because we're not going to be doing it rightly, like it happened in the case of the ANC or so. Immediately that communication was issued to the lady, probably she did not do anything with it. Let's take it to the issue of Mr. Yuri raising a concern that the CPP framework document was tampered with. Without all of you probably seeing the temporal portion of it, there was an investigation launched and everybody supported the investigation. Why didn't you listen to the concern raised by the National Executive Committee that this thing is not done properly, but you went ahead with the ceremony?
I think you are bringing the question to the wrong person. You could direct that question to the political leader of the Liberty Party.
So your concern was basically taking over the leadership. Whatever way you get it, it doesn't matter.
I come in and I will address that issue. I am not a member of the Liberty Party, and I do not intend to interfere into their internal communication, their intra-party communications, or whatever. As a matter of fact, I made it my duty not to read that communication. So I did not read it.
You don't care. You don't care about it.
I do not.
It seems to me that you don't care. What I want is just turn the thing over, whether you put on a piece of book and give it. That's what I want.
I do not know the content of that communication.
You said you don't want to read it.
No.
You decided not to read it. You read it. I know you. That is nothing passes by you without you reading.
So let me say this.
You say, come on, I don't care about what problems.
You see, T-Max.
It's happening at the Liberty Party.
What
I want is just transfer the power to me and let me know what I do.
T-Max, let me say this. We will not overshadow the success of the program on Friday. We had a very colorful and successful program attended by partisans, thousands of partisans from across the CPP. That is very, very important. And another important thing is why it was extremely important for this program to happen. When some news was broken that the CPP has extended the tenure of Senator Lawrence, everybody, not everybody, but it was a huge news in the press and people from all over were talking about how Joseph Boakai was afraid of leadership, how Joseph Boakai did not want to take over the leadership of the CPP because he was running away from accepting responsibilities. We were not going as long as Senator Yondi Kanga Lawrence, who was the chairperson of the CPP, has stated very clearly, and they had discussed as an advisory committee. The National Advisory Committee sat and agreed October 15 with all of the party's leadership in attendance, including the chairman of the Liberty Party, who is a member of the National Advisory Council. On October 2, they agreed collectively that the turnover ceremony will be on October 15. These are some of the reasons why I say I do not want to get into it. Musa was present at that meeting. The Senator Yondi Kanga Lawrence was present. Mr. Alexander Cummings was present. Victoria Koko was present. Our chairman was there. The standard bearer of the Unity Party was there. The chairman of the ALP, the standard bearer of the ALP. along with the chairs of the legislative caucus of the various parties. DeLong was in that meeting. The chair of the legislative caucus of the Liberty Party, the chair of the legislative caucus of the UP, they were all present. They agree on the date. UP did not set the date. The date was proposed by the Liberty Party, and it was unanimously agreed that the turnover ceremony will be.
That is on the 15th.
On the 15th.
Right.
On the 15th. We were even pushing for it to be on Saturday the 16th. The Liberty Party said, no, we want it done on the 15th. So how then do I have to concern myself with an internal communication from within the Liberty Party?
But you know, Mo, let me just ask you this question. You know, what I've noticed from most of you, you know, stalwarts of the CPP, you know, hurricanes of the CPP, is that when you engage a national platform, you people tend to share problems. That the problems confronting the Liberty Party are Liberty Party's problems. The problems confronting the ANC are ANC problems. ANC should be able to handle the problems internally. Currently, there is a huge expectation out there.
No, so let me clarify that first.
I know you're gonna. I just want to learn, and you just wait quickly. Now, if you people cannot take the issues, the problems confronting each party collectively to solve them, what makes you a team? In addition to that, former Vice President Joseph Nyumah Boakai has now taken over the role of the chairmanship of the CPP.
Can you allow me answer the first one?
Go ahead.
Thank you. The CPP framework document is clear that the parties in the collaboration maintain their independent identities and their independence.
Right.
And we also agree that whatever is happening in a party should not be interfered with by another party. I'll show you an
but that is a wrong premise.
I don't think
that is
a marriage. How do you want to live?
That's a wrong premise. If what concerns me in this group, to which we all are part, it doesn't concern the other party. I don't understand.
T-Max, the program on Friday, the partisans' participation, the colorful nature of that program, should not be overshadowed. Should not be overshadowed.
It was not a person.
If you want to discuss the Liberty Party internal issue, call Liberty Party people.
No, what I'm saying,
you can ask me to discuss their internal issue.
It was not a
I will be more concerned with issues of CPP generally.
That I expect, of course, that the partisans will be there. That's not my concern. But we belong to our group.
So T-Max, then you have the wrong person in studio here today.
No.
If you want
I have
to
the right person, and now you are the chief scribe.
No.
You are the chief scribe.
I am not. Let me say this. I became a member of the UP in 1997. I have not left the UP. The only other party I've ever been a member of is the Student Unification Party at the UL. I am not a member of the ALP. I do not intend to become a member of the ALP. I am not an executive of the ALP. And so if you want to discuss the internal crisis of the Liberty Party, it would be good to call Liberty Party people.
Mwali, I don't think that's the intent of our question.
Okay.
The question is, why do people share the response? Responded to that. The document says internal issues.
But I cannot.
Yeah, right.
Like for example, during their convention, I had a preference, and I was saying I have wished Matayala Bendi, for example, would be secretary or chairman. And immediately I was complained by the man who was contesting for the chairmanship, my own friend Musa Belete, that I am meddling into their internal issues. And I was warned very strongly
not to do so.
I do not intend to cross that line until I can be told to do so.
So in other words, what happens to Liberty Party belongs to Liberty Party. Let them crush themselves. Let them eat each other up. It doesn't concern
as far as we are in a CPP, that's our concern.
Let's move. Let's
No, I also wanted to address the second reason why ANC stated they said they were not attending, which is totally false. They say the
UP should not concern you.
No, they accuse the UP of profiteering. the reasons the ANC, I'm talking about the ANC, they stated two clear reasons. They say, one, they were being overlooked, they were not part of the program planning. We've addressed that. Second, they said the UP was profiteering. Now, I will say this. I have it right in here. I can send it to you. You read it.
Yeah, I have the communication.
There is this individual, a private citizen who is a member of the UP, who asked me, he said, look, I have a printing press. I'm printing t-shirts for sale for the program that day. Can you help me to, do some advertisement and put it out there? And if there are printing contracts, you can give it to me. I did that very gladly, and I did it without regret. T-Max.
Is that probably president a member of the Unity Party?
I just stated from his text to me, he's a member of the UP. T-Max, whenever we are having programs, it is not the first time. People go about to do this part, the CPP paraphernalia. Even when the ANC were turning over to the LP, there are people all over there selling the paraphernalia. And so somebody asked me, help me promote my business. And I say, no, I will do that 1,000,000 times over, as long as it is intended to help a young Liberian businessman.
Max, I don't see any line in this release that states that the ANC is accusing the Unity Party. Is this third paragraph in the letter says, the notice says, furthermore, the ANC believes that the program is characterized by wrongful processes, illegal profiteering, and sectarian politicization, and all practices that are.
So let me address.
How is this?
Let me address that.
Yeah.
There are posts from executives of the ANC when I posted. Go on Mariah Yakula's page. When I posted about the t-shirts, and I even put the guy number there.
Right.
There are posts from then saying that the UP is using the CPP to make money. We're using the CPP logo. In fact, they asked directly, how much are we raising from A? Are we going to report it to the CPP? It is predicated upon that they included that line in that press statement.
Let me move forward. Let me move because my time is running out. We have all these problems. And you be honest.
And we haven't even spoken about the program Friday. We haven't spoken about Youngbley's speech. We haven't spoken about Joseph Boakai's speech.
We'll get to that. I heard the woman's speech. I got a copy of the speech. He sent it to me. I got a copy of it. I got a video on that.
He wants to talk about it.
That's what he wants to talk about. That's not. That is personal. I want to get to this. Just like Nyumah now, the chair of what I would term as a fractured and factionalized CPP. How does he intend to navigate that? Problems, you acknowledge that problems. You don't want to interfere because those are personal problems with of political parties.
Not the Liberty Party thing.
How is he going to navigate? Because if you look at that, there are a lot of problems. Accusation of a constituent political leader of a political party tampering with this. How will Joseph Nyumah can navigate all these problems?
So first, let me clarify here. The official complaint I read from Mr. Uri did not accuse any one person. It did not mention the name of any political institution or constituent political parties within the CPP. I do not remember Mr. Uri's communication or letter of complaint to Madam Yomble Kanga Lawrence stating that the ANC or Mr. Cummings tampered with the framework document. It said there was tampering, there was malicious.
Why did you give a credence in the first place when there was no evidence? Why did you give a credence?
No, T-Max.
No, I'm asking you.
T-Max.
Mr. You didn't mean me. Why did you give a credence? He didn't cite the portion of the framework document that was being tampered with. Why did you give a credence?
It is not the culture of practice that when a constituent member of the CPP filed a complaint, in that case, that was in fact the first or the second time, file a complaint that you just ignore it. The best thing to do was what was done. Set up a committee, conduct an investigation, come up with some findings, send it to the lawyers, review it, and make recommendations. That was what was done. I do not remember, even in our findings, accusing any political party or any political leader of tampering. We found what we found. We stated them in the findings, and they say we will forward them to the lawyers for review and make recommendations. That is the clear-cut fact. Now, to the question of how Ambassador Boakai intends to proceed.
Very huge tax.
There is
with a problematic charge.
It is an accepted fact that based on this complaint filed by Mr. Cummings, it has erupted into some problems in the CPP. Anybody who denies that is now willing to solve the problems. First, Ambassador Boakai is going to draw up a roadmap along with his leadership on how we can tackle this issue, reaching out to the political parties, first the political leaders, the executives of the respective parties, and understanding how we can solve it. Reconciliation, solving problems in this kind of institution is not going to be and will not be a one-man thing. It is not going to be only a Joseph Boakai thing, but it is Joseph Boakai who the country is looking
to exercise leadership
exercise that leadership. And I have no doubt in my mind to his colleagues, he is going to reach out to the parties, and we will all sit and discuss on how can we solve these problems and how can we move on. And also, not only solving the problem, but those mechanisms we can put into place to prevent future occurrences of same or similar problems. So it is his first priorities. That said, there are also other priorities by the framework document that we have to implement.
When you say about that job, easier or tougher than
it is tough.
It's tough.
I'll be the first.
Can you live up to that?
It is.
You've known Joseph Boakai for rank of ages, clear for me. With this sort of complex problems erupted without evidence of guilt. You put it on the lap of this old man. It's going to make it difficult for him.
I think Ambassador Boakai likes difficult challenges.
Okay.
And, governing Liberia is one of the most difficult things anywhere in the world. It's one of the most difficult challenges anywhere in the world. And so if he must be prepared for that mantle, he has to start taking on some of the toughest challenges.
Will you call a spade a spade? Will you call out people if you find out they sort of alarm you blew was with no air to of truth? Will Joe Boakai do that?
Let me say this. First, Ambassador Boakai will follow up with the lawyers, along in consultation with his colleagues. And whatever the lawyers come out with, whether it is in one person's favor or not, it is what it is going to be. And I'll tell you, for example, we have been having some little issues, like with our USA Canada chapter, and all of
those are not little issues. They're issues.
No, not little. Of our USA Canada chapter. And we've been discussing how to solve it. The first thing Ambassador Boakai always does is, can we see what the law says about this? Can we refer it to the legal team? So recently, the legal team just reviewed what was happening there, and they submitted their findings. And look, I remember delaying to write a letter.
He drafted it himself.
And when I finally drafted the letter and sent it to him, he said, look, Mo, do not play a game with me. Draft the letter as it was agreed and as per the finding.
So he's up to the task.
Yeah. So, he will not thwart whatever is supposed to be as per the recommendations of the law. If the recommendations of the lawyers is that, look, there was nothing done, Ambassador Boakai would take the right steps. If the recommendations are that there were some procedural lapses, you need to take XYZ step to correct them, he will go by that.
Let me
And
tell you
we
what.
trust that.
Let me tell you what other people think about Ambassador Joseph Nyumah Boakai being one of the, if arguably one of the most experienced, amongst everyone there in the CPP as far as governance is concerned. He's worked in government for a very long time, and so what I want to know internally is that what has been his personal, his individual intervention in trying to settle some of the difficulties, misunderstandings in the CPP, even though when I am here in the position as chairman of the CPP. Now that I see in the position, if he did not do enough in ensuring that working in line with other people who had the position to ensure that there is this harmony in the CPP, how do you think people are going to come around him, to put their hands around him, to work with him in ensuring that there's reconciliation?
So the first thing is Ambassador Boakai has cooperated and has worked with every chair of the CPP, from Mr. Yuri to Senator Yomdi Kangalora.
To what extent?
To the extent that every event, every meeting that is called, he attends, he makes his contribution. When I remember when, during the time of Mr. Yuri, CPP wasn't having many press conferences because we were in the formative stages. He was the organ. But when Mr. Cummings became chair, every event, Ambassador Boakai was there. He attended every meeting. I remember in one or two press conferences, when the chair at the time has read out the press conference, the press statement, and answer questions, the journalists will turn the back to Ambassador Boakai. What do you say? He will just say, no, our chair has spoken. He's our leader, and we move on. The same thing with Senator Lawrence. I have been privileged to sit in just, few meetings of the advisory council and then joint meetings. I know Ambassador Boakai does not keep quiet. He does not just talk, but he listens to people and he comes out with his advice and put things to where they belong. He has been contributing, but you cannot contribute. You cannot do it to the extent that the person knows. That is not the person.
Even if things going wrong.
Let me say this again. In this whole thing about things going wrong, when this issue was raised, they all sat down, the four of them, at the Calabash, and discussed and agreed on the roadmap they would take, the procedures they would take to do the investigation. It was discussed by then. It was agreed. It was only later that a communication was sent that, this is not the right way. Then they went back and have another discussion. That was the time Mr. Cummings walked out. And then they went back and have a third meeting, and they agreed now collectively that a committee will be set up, and this will be. After we presented our report, it was agreed in that meeting that no political party executive, because you cannot stop the people who you don't have control. I know you have control over the executive. We say a word about this report.
But that was a breach then after that statement was made. That was a breach. Are we not
Many utterances were
yes.
made.
Okay.
Many utterances.
I'm running out of time. So I want to cover enough ground because she's telling me to take. Please give me 1 minute. Let me lay this. So Ure was the formation of the great CPP. So Ure was the head of the CPP formation.
The organizing chair.
The organizing chair that they came. And he held it together despite of the difficulties they had. He turned it over to, after this term was elasticized, he turned it over to Cummings. Cummings showed leadership in taking the CPP to the senatorial by-elections, which they came good from that by-election. And every Liberian people started rejuvenating the fact that, hey, this is a formidable group. If they can do A, B, C, despite of the government throwing money in the streets, then this sort of group took it and gave it to Nyumah. It is what it is, and luckily you took it over after Nyumah turned it over to Joseph Nyumah Boakai, whom we trust because of his vast experience in public life. What will be his agenda for the next 8 months?
So, one, reconciliation.
What are you going to reconcile? What will he be reconciling?
We all just admitted here that there are issues in the CPP. And those issues need to be reconciled. People need to be brought back to the table so that we can again start working as a unit. The other most immediate thing is on the selection of the standard bearer of the CPP. As per the framework document that is filed with the Elections Commission, the month of November is a month of final consensus dialogue. So that dialogue committee that should be headed by an independent, neutral Liberian has to be established.
That person has to be non-political.
Well, as I say, independent, neutral person, it has to be somebody who is not
political.
Well, everybody is political, but to some extent,
who would do that choosing of the selection?
The description of that individual alone he just gave make us understand that this person should be non-political. This person should be religious, highly religious.
So maybe it will be some of the religious people or something, but that committee has to be
religious people are politicized.
So it will be the person will be selected by the 4 political leaders. They all have to build a consensus.
Vet that person out.
Of course, they will vet the person out, build a consensus, and say, this is the person that we want. The second thing is, if the consensus does not work, the next thing on the agenda will be organizing the voters' perception survey. Then also laying the roadmap for an eventual primary. That roadmap has to be clear. The VPS has to be done before Ambassador Boakai can turn over to Mr. Yuri in 8 months' time.
8 months' time. Yes. Let's take our break and be right back.
Our manager has any better money.
Hey, man. Sorry, man. But you can really last month about you.
Let's see everything that a new pin. I just want to buy my credit for the week.
Hey, man. You worry for nothing. Just go get yourself a new thing. You'll be surprised with the kind of new game that come with it.
My old man. They are still here talking plenty.
Yes. Get a new SIM card for only 50 cents and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We'll take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Hey, y'all. What's up back on me, LIB, man?
T-Brush, that you? Hey, what are you for you, man? I'm surprised because most of you keep quiet friendly when you go to America.
Come on, man. I told you I'll make the difference, girl. By the way, I need to send you some cash, but heard that the banks are closed today in LIB.
You sleeping? That brought home to another level. You can send your script to my phone.
Receive money from your family and friends in the US directly into your Orange Money wallet. Yes, you heard me right. Tell your loved ones to download the BNB or Small World money transfer apps or visit their websites to begin transferring. Visit www.orange.com.lr for more information. Free for sender until 30th November.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone, and I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
Hey, Anna, how did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do, making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so, ma. And by the way, the after you talk, I am paying using the same app, my transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, Papa, give me 1 bottle of wine. That's another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up to wait 1 minute. Go come back. Now, lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy. But sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh, man. I am worried there. Jlateh, I got cash on my phone. You will scan and pay. But I want my money back as soon as you get home.
No problem there. But explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes. With money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 123 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car. With our sophisticated equipment, we give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car, but we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. Back on 50/50 on Sky 107. It's time for you to participate. Call us on those numbers on 0777 You'll be live on 50/50 on Sky 107. Better stay. Call us on those numbers on 0777 Those numbers are pinned on our Facebook page, Sky Communications Liberia, and our YouTube channels, Sky FM, Sky TV. Our special studio host is Moali, the chief scribe of the CPP. Sometimes I want to forget their name, CPP. And the chief scribe. So it's a time to call us on those numbers. Go ahead, and Mo Ali will answer your questions. And you can do your posting your comments on our page. Do I have the first caller? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim Mark.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Okay, thank you. I'm Edward Gray, and I call from Monrovia.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was calling make it clear. I'm also a member of the CPP, and specifically I'm from the Unit Party background. But I just want to say this to Chief Scribe, and I'm very honest with him this morning.
Mm-hmm.
We are very disappointed in our leadership. I'm talking about the CPP's leadership. Disappointed to the extent where some of, like I will even speaking here, I have resolved to not even politically. Because they can be leaders for us, and then people just having competition all over the place, like kids. Politics is not for babies. So I will urge the chief scribe. I've been listening to him, and he can convince us there is serious problem. This problem must be resolved, or else we are on the bad footing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number. Good morning. We don't have the call on the line. You want to start addressing that, or you want us to put the numbers through first?
Edward Gray spoke very passionately. He said in his closing statement, the problems must be resolved. But Edward, you have now waited for us to resolve the problem. You say you've decided not to vote in 2023. That is not a good decision. Wait until we can fight. If we don't resolve it, then you can take the decision. But I wholeheartedly appreciate your concerns.
Okay, let's go back to the line. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling me from?
Yeah, let me say good morning. My name is Jlateh. I call you from the community. You see, it is our prayer that the CPP. But one thing I want for Boakai to know is there are too many steps of the Union Party for which committee kept breaking alarm. I think more Ali was part of the committee. They know that what initiated by Young Council was set up by Young Council, the former chairperson. Now, in a statement, he said they said the framework was cut off. There were no parts, he said, but they didn't say put me cut off, but he said the framework was cut off. And Young Council accused Kumi falsely. And now, the report now been up officially from the poor lawyer, the poor party. And now, people saw him to be somebody who is a criminal. Thank God he cleared the air. But what I want to say to Mo Ali, they need to cover. One of the things I need to tell Waka, he needs to make sure that the report someone and then know what Kumi report or not. Because Kumi report is sick and the ANC report is sick. And that is one of the most significant role he will play. I was just disappointed that Kumi Waka sat there, Mo Ali than there, and you know, I figure out what they pointed at Mr. Kumi and not say anything. Now, what I think the chairmanship, after everything, I'm almost going out of here, now the top person in the CPP. That he said he wants to bring reconciliation, and he said he will free out and he can force up people in the CPP. That's a good thing, and it's welcoming. But he needs to do a holistic, he needs to do a form of discussion, because the office of what have been happening in the CPP, he didn't do anything.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 0777-777-107. Let's go back to line 6 to talk to our next caller. Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling me from?
Hey, doing T-Mac. My name is Benny. I call from New York.
Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
You hear me, Tim?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Hello, T-Mac.
I'm hearing you loud and clear, Ben.
Your studio guest Mo Ali is not doing no justice for Joseph Boakai right now. All he's doing is informing the Liberian people right now. For example, soon Mr. Joseph Boakai gave his unification speech. Guess what happened? One of his top surrogates, Henry Costa, was online, cursing Mr. Comey, calling him all type of names and all that stuff. Right after the program, after the turnover ceremony, Henry Costa went right on his radio station and started cursing Mr. Comey again. That's how you call it to unify a team, when your top surrogate is cursing another political leader, calling out of his name, calling all type of name, and Mr. Boakai stood right there and said nothing. Now because he won, he's the chairman now, he want to unify the CPP. It don't work like that. Like Mr. Comey said, let them apologize, because the man worked hard for his name. And we know what it takes when you make your name by working hard, by not taking the shortcut. That's the same thing we're talking about, George. I hear Mo Ali say, "Oh, the Pape don't talk. The Pape don't talk." So when he gonna talk? When everybody die in the CCP, when he talk, or what about chairmanship to talk? So yes, you got Mo Ali say, "Lie to the Liberian people. We're listening. We investing in our country. We want to come back home too, but we're not gonna be there. We're not gonna be here and Mo Ali be lying to us in our face." Thank you, Chief Mac.
Let's go back to line 5. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead. What's your name and where you calling me from? Your number, your line is bad. I'm sorry. We gotta call you off. Your number, your line is very, very terrible. Call me on that number on 0777. Let's go back to line 6. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. T-Mac.
Go ahead, my brother. What's your name and where you calling me from?
Oh, thank you very much. This is the voice of Usman Beredin. I'm the chairperson of the Unity Party Intellectual Reform Bureau. And I say what's up to my SG this morning, Mr. Mo Ali. I think it was prudent enough for SG to come on the platform to clear the airway. Because there are a whole lot of misinformation that are going around, castigating the Unity Party name, especially what he says about the t-shirt issue. Because the last time I checked, School FM was talking about the same thing. I think it appeared on School FM and it cleared also the airway. And our Sky FM is also another medium.
What is your concern? You are not saying anything to me. What is your concern? You want to tell us how you said Boakai would lead, why the agenda would be? Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about something different?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about.
I want you to address what we're discussing, please. Thank you very much.
The issue because they were saying that we are involved in corruption. Because I know very well that Mr. Boakai is capable to take on the CPP.
He's already.
You know very well that there was also issues in the media that Boakai was run away for responsibility, especially post from the ANC.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 077777107. You'll be live on 5050 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest is the chief scribe of the CPP and chief scribe of the party. Let's go back to line 2. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tima. Good morning to your studio guest. My name is Abbas from Standard District, Bombing County.
Go ahead, Abbas.
One of the regular listeners to your show.
Thank you very much,
I'm
Abbas.
very happy this morning to take part on your show because I hear about the future of Liberia, mainly about the CPP. Let me commend the Secretary General, Honorable Mo Ali. Thank you very much for you calling back the party. And my mother told me this morning, say, my son, if you want to progress right now, because my mother is 7 years of age, she told me that if I want to join a political party, I should officially take part on CPP. And I'm currently asking you as a CPP, you have a CPP candidate for the by-election. You're please run around for the CPP because we are here to see the CPP to win the by-election.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we take our last, or can we take all? We have another caller on the line. Let's go back to the line to talk to our next caller. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, tonight. Am I live?
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where you calling me from?
I don't know what I'm going through.
Is that Puni?
Hello.
Good morning. Go ahead, please. I'm listening.
T-Max, am I live?
Puni, you are live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, okay, thanks for the recognition, T-Max. The signal kind of fluctuating. I'd like to say thanks to Mo. And I want to also thank T-Max for breaking. I think Mo appearing is timely. I mean, Boakai just took over, and then he has to come and make some advancement. But T-Max, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you know of any leaders, what a political president, parliamentarian, community leader, be a church leader, organization leader, do you know of any leader that is infallible?
I never talk about Jesus.
Hello, Mr. Jlateh, I'm asking you a question.
So what are you asking me? The question that relates to the only righteous, infallible person I've ever seen in my lifetime is Jesus. So
exactly.
There is nobody who is infallible.
There's no leader that is infallible. When you rewatch history, the only person that they qualify and certify was Christ Jesus. I mean, he was upright. I mean, all leaders are infallible.
So why are you asking? So why are you asking me that question?
Here in the CPP, BMS of Boakai, Cummings, Ure, and Yombly, they have to put their acts together. What is unfolding in the CPP is a shared responsibility. You can't tie it to Mr. Boakai entirely. You can tie it to Mr. Cummings entirely. They cut across. And people look forward to them, so they need to put their acts together. It's not about who's right or who's wrong. Our people talking about open apologies. I mean, some things can be worked from behind the scene. In diplomacy, they have curtain, behind the curtain address. They can address a lot of things. They have a bunch of people that look forward to them as it relates to their workings. So all I want to say is that, I mean, none of them will be infallible. They all have their own shortcomings. But it behooves each and every one of them to put their acts in order to move the CPP forward. Thank you, Tim Max, and thanks so more.
Thank you very much. Let's can we hold on, Princess? Can we hold on one more to address? Do we have another?
Jlateh from the ANC.
Okay, Jlateh. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim Max, and good morning to my brother Frank Mo Ali of the Unity Party, head of the CPP Secretary.
Morning,
quickly, let me state that if we want to lead our people out of what we are currently, we have to be honest and sincere. The communication that Mr. Ure told the CPP leaders directly and indirectly accused the last leadership that submitted the document. It's like somebody saying some concession agreement on Madam Salif or the last government was not in the interest of the people, and say did not accuse an institution. So morally, they didn't say the right thing. In as much as Mr. Yue did not mention ANC name, he couldn't have accused himself as being the first leader that did not submit the document. So it's clear. Second, the profiteering issue. Let it be established clearly. If people have used CPP paraphernalia, I have not seen anywhere apart from the Dillon rally, battle rally campaign, that it was known to the CPP that a rally must be established for Dillon to state that a contract law that somebody went into with another party and start getting money for other aid and placing it on Facebook with an amount should be overlooked when using all of us emblems. That is quite clear. Lastly, the internal ranking of any constituent party member of the CPP is something that affects the wholesomeness of the CPP. Yes, they are independent, but we should see reason to dive into it and see how we can harmonize it, either for Bian is saying. For the fight that the CPP secretary, in person of Martin Kula and the chairman, where we are the same or had earlier complained and did not claim the attention of Moali because it was an internal issue, it says a volume. We have to be genuine, we have to be honest, we have to approach our people with a true alternative that want to change this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give Moali the chance to address this thing before we take our last.
We'll start up with my friend Jlateh. Jlateh, when you say a communication directly accuses someone, it means that that person's name was mentioned in the communication, and that is not the case. Do not bring fake information to the public. And also to insinuate that the Unity Party had an agreement with this individual to get some money, you are dead wrong. You also stated that it was only during the Dillon Dada rally that the CPP emblem was allowed to be used. It's also wrong. When the ANC turned over to the LP, there were CPP paraphernalia sold by individuals that we know nothing about. And let me state this again. I will help this guy 1,000,000 times over, and I'll do it for any printing press, a Liberian printing press who is taking positive advantage of the CPP to promote their business. I will do that. The guy from the States, Ben, I think Ben has something with his ear, and I will advise that he see his ear doctors to clear that wax from his ears. I have never said, you can play it again, that Joseph Boakai doesn't talk. Maybe that's what Ben has programmed in his head. And so he calls with that emotion to say that I said just talk. He listens to people as an elderly person and speak at last. Give wisdom to whatever discussion they are having. So Ben, you need to think about that. And he also talked about they should apologize to Cummings. Let me ask you, Ben, if the lawyers came up to say the findings from the documents, from the investigation are correct, will Mr. Cummings apologize?
He said that he would.
Good. And then, there is this guy, I didn't get it, a caller from District 14 who said, Nyumah set up a committee. Comrade, you're wrong. Nyumah did not set up a committee. A committee was agreed upon in keeping with the CPP's framework document by the 4 political parties. Each party had a representation on that committee. The ALP was represented by their chairman, Theodore Mumo, the ANC by Attorney Yafa Barpe, the Liberty Party by Augustine Fredericks, the Unity Party by Attorney Ko Bangalu, and I was there because the 4 political leaders collectively agreed that I serve on that committee as a resource person because I was involved with the signing of the CPP framework document. So it was not a Nyumah committee, it was a committee agreed on by the 4 parties.
Thank you very much. Let's take our last break. And when we come back, we go straight to Princess in Studio A to give us comment from our social media users.
Hey, yo. What's up, back on the LIV, man?
T-Brush, that you? Hey, good to hear from you, man. I'm surprised because most of you keep quiet friendly when you go to America.
Come on, man. I told you I'll make the difference, girl. By the way, I need to send you some cash, but heard that the banks are closed today in LIB.
You sleeping? That bro going to another level. You can send it straight to my phone.
Receive money from your family and friends in the US directly into your Orange Money wallet. Yes, you heard me right. Tell your loved ones to download the BNB or Small World money transfer apps or visit their websites to begin transferring. Visit www.orange.com.lr for more information. Free for sender until 30th November.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone, and I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do, making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the item you took are on me, Marco. I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Nah, so you mean to tell me I can send my mom any amount now? The fees not reduced? Yes, so if I make people happy, yeah? That's not smart to you.
Send money to your loved ones from wallet to wallet, starting as low as $10 Liberian. Just dial *144# and follow the instructions to begin transacting.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Excuse me, Papa, give me one bottle of wine. That's another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up the wait 1 minute. Go come back. Now, lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy, but sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh, man. Now you're worried there. Jlateh, I got cash on my phone. You will scan and pay, but I want my money back as soon as you get home.
No problem there, but explain to me some more. Scan.
With money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Thank you very much. Back on 50 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest is Mo Ali. Now we turn straight to Studio A to Princess to give us comments from our social media users. And let me interject here intelligently that the comments you're about to hear are not comments from Sky Communication, but rather comments from our social media users. So don't hold us responsible for that. It's what are you, Princess, in Studio A?
All right, and so let me begin with Joshua Kamasekwen, who writes, it is not becoming the most ability are paid agents in the collaboration. Both of them supported WIA 2017 second round. They are natural born seditions. Their mission is to destroy the CPP to give George Weah second term. Let those rotten apples go and never return. Black Damo writes, these guys in the opposition continue to give the ruling establishment the upper hand. James Jidya City writes, so you are okay with how Yombly and Dillon behaving, right? Yankwe Gegan Boma writes, JNB has been quiet and remains quiet. He is secretly concocting plans to malign his chief rival, ABC. He said JNB is not an honest leader. Black Dama writes, I think there are agents of the ruling party planted in the CPP. Joseph J. McGill writes, without ANC, the UP can still win CDC. The Liberian people had already decided. Monty Wama Brown writes, good morning, T-Max. I believe it's about time that the former VP use his leadership skills by uniting the divided CPP hierarchy. The Liberian people are watching to see what he's bringing to the CPP leadership. This will either make him or break him. We are watching. Henry Helps writes, you guys be careful. Ellen Johnson had promised Alexander Cummings our president. She is still playing on our poor Liberians. Armstrong Wabena writes, Boakai is a reservoir of wisdom, therefore we are going to carry him come 2023. Wellington V. Soma writes, good morning. Our expectations of the leadership of Ambassador Joseph Nyumah Boakai of and genuine reconciliation. As it stands, the CPP is totally unbalanced with greed and serious political difference. His ability to handle such matter in the CPP will determine his leadership ability in handling this damaged economic and a failed state by this bankruptcy looters regime. Emmett A.S. Typer writes, I feel so sad for the ANC remembering what happened to Vani Sherman 2005 elections. Cummings be won by that. Vani was the highest spender and not winning presidency. Be won, Cummings. Elisha Sport writes, the CPP will liberate the people of Liberia from the bondage of failed leadership. Glebo Johnson writes, Liberian people are not thinking about old-timer. Edison Ross writes, good morning to the 50-50 family. Hello to the most powerful SG. In the next 8 months, Liberians will see a leadership that is characterized by knowledge, experience, and wisdom. The Yumbi Kanga Lawrence will be presidential candidates for the CPP to. Politics is about time and calculation. Team JNB and Senator Kanga Lawrence is the best choice for getting Liberia back on track. And I'm going to take like a few more. Sarah Putaway writes, good morning to my beautiful 50-50 family. A long time no see because I've been driving the birds from the farm and also pushing my cartoons. And also, but I'm very happy to be back. Family, love you all. Joseph Kola writes, so sorry for CPP. Charles G. Kekula, VP Boakai, now that you are the chairman, please do everything to unite the CPP before 2022. And let me take this final one. Isaiah Aziko Godwin Fole. Kudos, Honorable Boakai. As you heard the CPP, you are a mental inspiration and a man with a good heart for his country. JNB, as he said, is the only person who can bring this corrupt government down. I'm patiently awaiting 2023 to make you president to redeem the motherland from the hands of political gangster, looters, incompetent, and moribund institution called CDC and bring sanity to the discourse. That's all for now, T-Max.
That's a wrong and a rude characterization of the regime. I don't support that. So the sign seal delivered that Nyumah is the running mate of GMB.
I have no idea.
How you don't have any idea?
The CPP standard bearer position has not been decided, and when that is decided, the person who is elected or selected standard bearer will make recommendation for approval by the executive committee.
It is only Cummings who have refused to become vice president, but Nyumah have not said that she would not be. Jury has not said that. So but maybe we might have first vice president, second vice president.
Timas,
CPP.
Let's look at this. Everybody has ambition, and everybody has the right to harbor an ambition. If Mr. Yuri wants to be vice president,
it is in a terrible dilemma. Which of them will he choose?
If Nyumah wants to be vice president, it is her right. I am not, cloth with the authority.
Who would you have recommended? You get the old man's ear. Who would you have recommended?
I can see.
Thank you more for accepting our invitation to come and give us some clarity on this issue.
Thank you.
Nice that you have a colorful, a colorful turnover.
I saw the very numbers. Colorful turnover.
I saw the numbers.
Thank you, Timas. I have to run.
Thank you very much. On that note, we come to the end of this edition of 50-50. My name is Tima. Thanks for being there. Tomorrow morning again, let's do it again to give Liberia a brighter future. Bye-bye for now.